Are we live? This isn't alive, but it might as well be, because it's gonna be very chill. We're just chatting today, so if you don't like chatty videos, this video is not for you. This is for anyone who feels alone and needs to talk to someone but has no one to talk to. Like me. Hello, beautiful beings of the internet. It's currently raining. You probably can hear it, because there's a whole storm going on outside today. It's actually very relaxing because my family's out of town. They're looking at colleges for my brother, and it's just me at home during a storm, and the vibes are immaculate, let me tell you. Today, again, we're having a chill chat. We're actually having a very specific kind of chill chat, and that would be a little mental health chat. There was some really specific stuff that I wanted to talk about this. I said that like a month and a half ago or so. What I'm doing today is I'm just kind of venting. I'm just kind of telling you guys what I've been dealing with lately and what I've been realizing about myself, and I thought making a video about it would be good. One, for me, just to be able to like dump it on you. I'm kidding. Kind of. I also just thought, like, if anyone else is feeling any of these things themselves, if you're feeling alone in it, which is a big part of what we're going to be talking about, then we could chat about it in the comments. If you guys wanted to comment, we could talk back and forth about some of these things, or just, I don't know, I want to help you feel less alone if you deal with any of these same things that I do all the time. So yeah, we're just gonna chat, and I'm gonna do my absolute best not to cry in this video. I kind of wrote some notes out for myself just to like try and organize my thoughts a little bit, because we're gonna end up on tangents. Even though I wrote an outline, there's still gonna be tangents to be had, and I'm gonna do my best. Also, no, I don't play guitar. This isn't a setup. This is, oh, I didn't even tell you, I'm sitting in my loft thing. I should have mentioned that. This is that thing above my bed that everyone's like, what's up there? Storage, books, musical instruments, and all my stuffed animals from childhood. Not even necessarily childhood. Some of those are pretty recent. Some of those are from my ex-boyfriend, actually. Isn't that cute? Polar bears. I love polar bears. So, back in February, I was like doing kind of okay, and then I just hit this wall one day, out of nowhere. I don't really know what triggered. I know one thing that triggered it, but I'm not gonna say what it is. I don't think any IRLs are watching this, but if they are, I'd rather not say too much specifics, you know what I mean? But essentially what this wall was and how it came to be was I kind of hit this point in loneliness that it all became so overbearing. It was like that like overwhelming loneliness that just makes you feel incredibly empty. Like I got to the point where I'm the kind of person who likes to get up at like 7:30, 6:30 if I'm lucky, but I was not getting out of bed until like 11. And then once I finally got myself out of bed, I'd sit down to work, like edit, and I just like stare at the screen and like couldn't do anything, couldn't motivate myself, had no determination whatsoever. And I would get back in bed and watch Jacksepticeye videos until nighttime. That's how that went. I don't really know how to describe it other than I just like had no motivation. I was so lonely. Was thinking about how lonely I was becoming terrified by the concept of loneliness, because I am terrified of loneliness. Like that is my greatest fear in life, is loneliness, and I've just kind of reached the point where it was like so overwhelming and overbearing that I just like didn't know what to do with myself. Like I was just like, I'm so freaking lonely and I'm gonna lose my mind because of it. Like I have like nothing, and it's not that there aren't people around, because like I live with my parents right now. I won't be for much longer. Not gonna talk too much about that because I'm still figuring it out, but I live with my parents and my brother, so I'm like around people, but there's, you know, just because you're around people doesn't mean you're not lonely. That's like, you know, loneliness 101. During that time, I forced myself to film videos because I have an obligation and I had to film. That's one of the worst things I think about YouTube as a job, is your mood. Like no matter how blah you are, like you have to get on camera and like, hey guys, what's up? How you doing? Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just like the hardest thing in the world to do. But I forced myself to film. That's when the infamous emotion Carly Rae Jepsen reaction happened, and that just made everything worse. But for the first time, I really started to think about why I was lonely and like what was going on. Why did I feel this way? Why did I always feel this way? And like I was just so sick of it. I was like, I'm so sick of this loneliness. Like, how do I stop it? And there was this one night where I couldn't sleep because I was so sad. Guys, this video is TMI. Just like, no, right now, it's TMI. I was laying in bed and I had one of those epiphanies, like legit epiphanies, where like I sat straight up in bed and the light bulb went off and I was like, whoa. That's it. And I'm not gonna say exactly what it was, just because my thoughts on the whole thing have changed a little bit over the past month and a half, and like figuring out what the exact source of my feelings are. It's changed a little bit, but essentially what I've come to understand about myself is that all of these issues stem back to insecurity. It was one of those things that like, I'm like, everyone has insecurities. Everyone feels insecure. Everyone deals with different levels of insecurity. And I always thought I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm one of those people that deals with insecurities like everyone else. And then I was like, actually no, it is debilitating insecurity that I have that causes so much problems like in my life. And if I go back and I look at like myself growing up, I was always the kid that was like the shy kid. That's what I always thought. I was just like, oh, I'm just shy, whatever. But I was the kid at like birthday parties. Everyone else would be playing games. I would sit in the corner in a chair and not talk to anybody because I was so scared to talk to anybody. I played soccer for years. I never had any friends on my teams because I just didn't talk to anyone. I was just so scared to open my mouth, so I just didn't say anything. I didn't want to sound stupid. I didn't want to look dumb. I didn't want to say the wrong thing, so I just didn't say anything. I never participated in any games in class, in summer camps, in clubs. Like, I just would rather watch. I always said I would rather watch. It wasn't because I didn't want to play, it was because I just didn't want to mess up and look stupid in front of everybody. In class, I never shared my answers because what if I said the wrong thing? What if I got it wrong? What if I said the wrong thing and everyone laughed at me? That would suck, right? Like, that would be terrible. I wouldn't hang out in big friend groups because I didn't want to talk in front of a lot of people because people would make fun of me. Didn't want that. Oh my god, the rain is so intense and I love it. You hear it? It makes you so happy. But basically I was always scared of just like every ounce of human interaction. And I always thought, oh, I'm just shy. But shyness shouldn't keep you from living your life. Shouldn't keep you from every experience that you're supposed to live in your life, right? In college, things got better. I was given leadership roles in college that changed my confidence levels drastically. Huge change in my confidence in college, in the sense that like working among peers in like clubs and work in school, that kind of stuff, became a lot more comfortable. College was the biggest thing for my confidence that ever happened. But I was still lonely. I realized that my ability to form meaningful relationships with other people is not good, to say the least. Simply just not good. And I think this is true in all relationships in my life. I think I was thinking about like who my friends are, and I think I have 4 friends who really know me, who've seen like the weirdest, realest, goofiest, truest forms of who I am. My parents like don't know anything about me. I don't talk to my parents about anything about myself. And then all my other friends don't really know me at all because I'm just scared of looking stupid in front of them. And that sounds crazy. I know it does. I know it sounds crazy. I feel like everybody else I've kind of essentially pushed away. And I never thought of myself as somebody who pushed other people away until recently, until I kind of examined some relationships in my life. I was like, why did that fail? Why did that fail? Why did that fail? Oh, me. Because of me. I just feel like I'm always uncomfortable around people. I'm always scared to say the wrong thing and look like an idiot. It's not even a fear of embarrassment or a fear of failure. It's a fear of just doing the wrong thing, looking stupid in front of people, being made fun of, being laughed at, being even just like people thinking bad things about me scares me. But not people on the internet for some reason, because I look like a stupid person on the internet all the time and that does not bother me. But in front of people I actually know, that's the scariest thing in the world. Romantic relationships, I think, is the place where this all kind of is the worst. Again, I don't want to like too much TMI, you guys, but at the same time, I just don't care. Like, I feel like I've always been pretty open on my channels about life stuff, but I feel like at heart, I am like the biggest ooey gooey mushy gushy romantic that the world has ever known. Oh my god, I growing up listening to Taylor Swift, like how could you not? Growing up watching Disney Channel movies where everything is ushy gushy, mushy, gooey, whatever, you know what I mean? I always felt like I was like such a romantic at heart, but in a practical setting, the least romantic person in the world has ever known. I kind of like really look back at this situation with my ex-boyfriend. Don't anybody make this about my ex-boyfriend. I'm just using a story from it. There's no hard feelings in that past relationship. It's years old, so we don't have to worry about it. There's no hard feelings. He's happy. I'm mostly happy. We're good. But I was thinking about this thing. He used to send me like these long paragraphs about how much he cared about me. Like if I fell asleep first in a text conversation, I'd wake up in the morning to like 3 pages of text messages of just like the sweetest things I'd ever read about myself ever. And he was always so sweet. And I never said anything like that to him. Ever. Because it's not because I didn't feel it. It's not because I didn't want to say those things. Because obviously I did. I felt all of the same things for him that he did for me, but I never could bring myself to say those things out loud. or write them down. I was so scared of screwing it up, looking stupid, embarrassing myself, all the same things. I could never bring myself to do it. So I could totally see from his perspective how I probably seem like the worst girlfriend ever to exist. Wouldn't blame him for thinking that. Fun little anecdote related to this. I remember one night we stayed up on FaceTime the entire night, and he said to me at one point, like, why don't you ever say really nice things to me? And he wasn't like being like pushy about it. He just kind of asked that question. And I was like, I don't know how, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Because that's just how I feel all the time. And he's like, well, I want you to do it. And I was like, but I'm too scared. I don't know what to do. And he's like, just say it. And I was like, I cannot say it. He's like, okay, then write it down. And so I remember I sat there while we were on FaceTime and wrote this like 2-page long thing about all the things I loved about him. And then I sent it to him and watched him read it, and it was like the most uncomfortable, scary moment of my life. But I don't know, it's looking back on it, I'm like, that was kind of cute. But I think in romantic relationships, it's hard for me to share my feelings. And it's funny because on YouTube, again, I share all my feelings all the time, but not in person, not with a romantic partner. I can't. And physical relationships, again, don't want to TMI this, but at the same time, I don't care. Physical aspects of romantic relationships have been one of my biggest like internal struggles, I think, since I knew what physical relationships were. Even like to this day, holding hands is so scary for me. And I know that's like, girl, what is wrong with you? I wish I knew, guys. I wish I knew. But if a guy like holds my hand, every mean thing that I've ever thought about myself runs through my head, and I'm like, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, why does he want to hold my hand? He shouldn't want to hold my hand. I'm gonna screw it up, I'm stupid, I fucked this up, I shouldn't be here. Everything. That's how I feel, even with the freaking handhold. And then anything beyond that is like anxiety through the roof that I can't even describe. I've been sent into like full panic attacks with stuff like that before. And of course I've confused the hell out of people with it, because they're like, what? Why are you suddenly freaking out? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm so stupid. I'm just so scared of looking stupid. I'm so terrified of looking dumb in front of people. And so like, again, in the physical aspects of relationships, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna look dumb, and they're gonna make fun of me. They're gonna tell everybody how stupid I was, how I didn't know what I was doing, how, oh my god, how dumb I am, and they're never gonna talk to me again, and I'm never gonna be able to look at them again, and it's just gonna be horrible. And that's part of like why like romantic relationships are impossible for me, because I can't get past my own insecurity. And I'm, you know, people always say you have to love yourself to love someone else, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I hear that all the time, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, okay, I bet you do. But I never realized that I was part of that group of people who wasn't loving themselves in order to love other people. And coming to this realization for myself, it doesn't change anything. Like, I know it's all in my head, but that doesn't mean it's gonna stop. I'm still gonna feel this way, I'm still gonna experience these things, but I will say that coming to this realization does have a lot of comfort for me in it, because I feel like I've really started to identify the root issues in, like, that's not a right phrase, what, I don't know, whatever, the core issue, whatever, the root of where all these things are stemming from, essentially. And knowing that, I can try and work on myself, work on loving myself in order to open myself up more to other people, whether that's romantic, friendships, whatever it may be. I want to know people. I don't want to be, oh god, I'm not crying, I'm not crying, I'm not crying. Stop, dude. No, but seriously, like, I really just want to work on that. And I've been thinking a lot about it, and this summer, if COVID starts to actually fade away, it feels like it's starting to fade away a little bit, doesn't it? If, you know, people are getting vaccinated and I'm able to go out into the world a little bit more, I'm going to work on that. I want to do my best to put myself out there, meet people, talk to people, open up to people, let people in a little more, actually make friends with people. And I know I've lost a lot of these relationships from my past. As much as I miss these people and still care about them and love them and wish more than anything that I hadn't pushed them away, I know I can't have them back because they've moved on and they see me as one way, and I don't think I can change that anymore. And that's okay. Like, ooh, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You can't see anything. So I know I have to like look in other places to find people, and that's something I'm really gonna work on this summer, is like putting myself out there more. I need to work on this loneliness situation that I'm dealing with, because I can't live like this. And it's scary because I'm almost 24 and I'm like, I'm gonna die alone. I'm forever alone. I always joke about being forever alone all the time, but like it's a serious fear of mine. And whenever I joke about forever alone, it's it's never been a case of like there aren't people who have tried to get to know me, because there always have been, but I've always pushed them away every freaking time. Me and my stupid insecurity. Oh, I wrote down how sometimes I picture myself from third person POV and I cringe. Just like, ew, nope, don't do that. No one else should either. I hate it, dispose of it. This was stream of consciousness when I wrote this down. But have you ever pictured yourself from third person point of view and hated everything you saw? I definitely haven't. That doesn't happen to me on the daily. What? No. But yeah, this like debilitating insecurity that I've been dealing with is something that I intend on working on, because I hate it. Like I think I've reached the point where I can't take it anymore. And I actually started making a playlist about insecurity on Spotify, because everything I do has to have a playlist for it, because I'm weird, but whatever. And there's this song called Dear Insecurity by Nash that I love the most, and the whole song is like a journey from like hating yourself to loving yourself, and I love it so much. Go check it out if you haven't heard it, because essentially in this song he talks about like hating himself and then fighting against the insecurity and learning to love himself. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, like that song is my anthem right now, because we are fighting the insecurity. We're gonna beat it the hell up. Guys, I don't want to be alone forever. I want a boyfriend. Tell me, are there any good ones left? Selena Gomez in the house. But I feel like that's kind of the gist of how I've been feeling and the things I've been dealing with lately. My fear of intimacy and my insecurity and my fear of embarrassing myself in front of other people, and my self-hatred, you know, all the lovely things in life that we just love to have. It's so great. One of these days I will let somebody in and I will not be alone. We can tell ourselves that. No, we will. I know I can figure this shit out. I'm gonna get this shit out of my life, because I'm so sick of it. I'm so done feeling lonely because I don't like who I am. I hate it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. We're not crying. I'm not crying. Those are sparkles in my eyes. That's all I want to talk about, I guess, for myself. And I'm sure editing this, I will be punching myself because I will have forgotten to say things or feel like I said things wrong. But again, this is just a chill chat and we can talk more about it in the comments. So if you feel any of these same things, please let me know so I feel less alone. And then I can help you feel less alone and we can talk about it and it'll be great. I hope this was helpful for somebody somewhere. Even if it just helps one person feel less alone in the things they're feeling, then it will have been worth it for me to make this video. Feels good for me to talk about them. Feels good for me to sit down and do a video like this, because this is on my second channel where I don't really post much anymore, and I'd love to say that I'm going to post more here, but I just don't know if I can. Thank you guys for hanging out, just a chill chat. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment below if you want to chat about anything else, anything extra, anything more in the mental health zone. I'd be happy to chat with you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you with my whole heart, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Dear insecurity, when you gonna take your hands off me? When you ever gonna let me be proud of who I am? Oh insecurity, it's time I make you take your hands off me. Set me free, I'm gonna let you see I'm proud of who I am, just the way I am. I'm proud of who I am.